Wow, what do I do? A little bit of what I do is I'm an actor, more that's on my top of the list. I'm an actor, I'm a writer, and I love making movies. That's what I do. I've been acting for 5 years now. It all started because of my husband. I went on a set with him back in 2012 when we were dating. And I will never forget this because that was like my first time doing something. I was just there to go, support him. And when I got there, the producer told me that one of the actors had backed out. So they were like, "Do you mind stepping in?" And I was like, "Sure, right? Why not?" So I just remember getting on a costume. It was like a scientist or something along those lines, and I had a few lines, and I just remember loving it. I just remember having the camera in front of me, not even caring that it was there. It didn't even I kind of block it out, and I was just having fun. I got to do that scene with my husband, by the way, which made it even better. And that's when I knew that I wanted to do this full time. When I was about 11 years old, I remember watching the movie Speed with Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves. And I remember just telling myself, that was back when I was still in Mexico. And I remember just telling myself, I want to be an actor. And I was like, well, there's 2 things I need to do. I need to learn English. I need to be in the United States, right? And I want to shoot a gun. I'm like, what does that have to do with acting? I don't know, but that was like my mentality. And then little did I know that, a few years later, I was going to be doing this acting thing. Most of my work has been independent work, which I love because, I'm doing this not because I want to be famous or because I want to be rich. I'm doing it because I love the craft. I love acting. It's my passion. And so most of these projects I've done are independent, which I don't care. I just love being in front of the camera and delivering. Some of them have been short films that with supporting roles, lead roles. One of my favorites, The Spirit, that was just screened today. That was my last film I did last year. And, it's just the magic of portraying these characters. I was in a TV show called Homicide Hunter as a principal character about last year. Capture, it was another short film I did a few years ago. Just other stuff I can't remember right now. I'm a little nervous right now, so I don't remember too much. But those are the ones that I can remember on top of my head right now. Yeah. Capture. Wow, that was my first lead role. It was about a girl who was very insecure about herself, and so she would dress up in a way to keep away her insecurities, to hide her insecurities. And she was a photographer, so she had like a double life. During the day she was a photographer, and at night she would sleep with her clients. It was interesting. It was an interesting role, but it was definitely a fun role to play because it was 2 different personalities. And then I have Lilian Brooks here, right, trying to portray these other 2 characters. And then the other thing that made it very fun to do was the chemistry I had with my co-stars, crew, Tessie, Kip. I mean, they were wonderful to work with. And my husband was on set helping too, so it's fun. Yeah. So a little bit about the Spirit. This is like my favorite film. Not that I'm trying to dish out the other films, but this was my last project I did last year before I had my baby. And Despierta was a film about narcolepsy. This girl who suffers narcolepsy, and she's trying to deliver a piece of work. She works for a company that does marketing for products and other stuff. So the story pretty much focuses on Basti Sanchez is the name of the character, and she is trying to come up with a slogan for their new campaign. And she's suffering this narcolepsy attacks, and so she's trying to find this notebook, which is very important for her because she has written in there this slogan she's going to use for the meeting with the boss. So the whole movie is about her trying to find this notebook that she lost, and at the same time she's trying to find herself because she hides her insecurities again in this notebook. It was very fun to shoot. It was a film that SCAD graduate was working on as her thesis film. It was a fun shoot to do. I got to reconnect with a few people I had worked with before. Scott, he did sound. I can't remember. Amber, she was the DP, one of the, I think she was the assistant to the DP. I got to make new friends in there I still talk to till today. And we had a private screening last year, and it was, I love that film. I keep watching it over and over, probably once a month. So that tells you my love for the movie. For the studio, we opened up recently our acting studio called Blank Stage Acting Studios, where we train actors. We actually just added a voiceover class. We also do have screenwriting meetings where you can bring your screenplay, and we'll read it and give you feedback on it and how to make it better. We also do try to connect our actors at the studio with filmmakers so they can start working on their reels, agents, get them agents so they can start booking, and just training them to be the best they can be. All right, so some of the work that you're going to see at the Spotlight today was all improv. About 4 years ago, well, before we invited a group of people, my husband Brent and I used to every night do improv together, just the two of us. Just crazy scenes, funny scenes, dramatic scenes. And then we were like, okay, I think it's time to get some people in so we can, see what other people would do, like what other things they would add to it. And so we created what we called Asylum 8. And for about 2 years, a group of actors, including myself and my husband, I'm going to name the other actors, Ben Bryant, Diamond Alessandra, Jason Eccleston, Richard Lanford, Santos de la Rosa, Jordan Brown. Yeah, those were like the core. That was the core group. So for 2 years, every Saturday morning at 9 a.m., they would arrive to our home. We converted our living room into like a studio kind of thing where we have a black draw. We painted the walls black so you wouldn't see anything but just us floating in the black backdrop. And every Saturday we would create a story and we would act it out, just all improv. I think we would just kind of create the main story and call scenes out. So if I wanted to do a scene with Ben, I was like, Ben, we have a scene, let's do it. And sometimes we didn't know what we were gonna do, we just went and did it. And I can tell you that I learned so much from those shows. I fell in love with improv because I used to hate improv. I didn't like thinking on my feet, but from those I fell in love with improv. And I got to make stronger friendships. We got to the point where, we would just give each other looks as we knew it was time to go and do it. And we never tried to compete with each other. It was always support each other, always save the other one. If, you weren't thinking fast enough, the other one would save you. And so we have actually a fan page on Facebook called Asylum 8. So check it out when you can. And we have a few clips in there. We're gonna get back to doing that hopefully next year. With the studio right now, we can't do it, but we're gonna try to get back to it because it was just so much fun to do. But yeah, just go to the fan page and see the some of the clips we have. Today you get to see two shows short versions of the long 1 hour and a half show. One is Wanna Be Famous Too, which is focused on Swindell, which is a casting director who's coming to Atlanta and cast, a one-liner. And it's just a spoof on, the casting directors from LA and actors in Georgia and all that stuff. And then we also have the Asylum 8 Falls, which is like based on the main idea of what we do this. So Asylum 8 is a place where we have crazy people and the guards give them these pills and they take them out so they can create this story. So in Asylum 8 Falls, you pretty much see the crazy people, which is us, and we're just trying to revolt against the guards. So you get to see that today. Yeah. My husband, Brent, and one of his students for about 2 years, they have created 2 projects. One is called The Way Home, which recently was shot this year, and we had a private screening, and we're going to try to submit it to festivals. And then last year he did another short film called Always, and what he did is he got together with some of our actors from one studio and then other actors from another studio, so they collaborated and created a short film called Always, which I think it's online, but I'm not sure. I'm going to check out. And then The Way Home this year that he produced. I wrote like a little introduction to a web series I'm hoping to produce next year. It's called Brandywine Circle, and it's about what do they call it? Like, it's kind of like cartel kind of based thing, you have 2 families who hate each other, and the new leaders, which are like the younger people now, they're gonna get married to stop the war between the 2 families, but they just hate each other. Kind of like a Romeo and Juliet thing, but they're not gonna kill each other for love. No, they're gonna stick together to save the 2 families, and eventually they're gonna fall in love, but that's down the road. First you have to see them fight and want to kill each other before they get to that love part. So we're producing like a 10-minute introduction, like a first episode to set up the whole story and see if people want to see more, then we'll produce the whole thing. But we're gonna start with producing that 10-minute episode to start with. So yeah, stay tuned. Well, thank you for having me, and yeah.